When we have multiple sclerosis, sometimes we're stuck in the usual topics like eating the right diet, taking the right supplements, stress reduction, gut health. These are all great to talk about when healing your multiple sclerosis. But what about talking about the other things like creating joy in your life, getting outside, getting out in nature? Think about some of the good times that you've had in your life. And I want you to think about what life was like before. Think of a happy time where you were either with your family or your friends, you were having some sort of celebration. I bet you that most of those happy times you were spending outdoors. And most of us don't get outside enough. We're stuck in our offices, we're stuck at home. Maybe we work from our home, like I do. Maybe we work from a cubicle in an office. Maybe you have a window outside your office. And if you do, you're a very lucky person because most people don't. But I want to tell you, when you have your lunch break, I want you to go outside. And there are so many healing properties. And I'm going to get into this. I'm going to tell you more about it. And I bet you when this information starts sinking in, you're gonna go outside a lot more and you're gonna make a habit of it. And when you do this, you're gonna start healing more quickly. So today I want to talk about stripping away the complicated stuff. Healing does not have to be difficult. It can be so simple. And I know you're listening to all these different people and you're going to all these different websites, you're joining all these different Facebook groups, but I want you to really go deep inside yourself and start thinking, healing doesn't have to be hard. I can heal myself and I can make this very simple. And this might take some time. This could take anywhere from 3 months to a year. It could take longer if you have mobility issues, but you can heal. You can heal 100%. And today I want to give you simple ideas about getting outside and why it's so important. You hear, why am I supposed to get in nature? You hear that a lot, right? Get in nature. Nature is healing, but why? I'm going to tell you why in this episode. Let's start with the sun. The sun is so healing, and it's going to help you get more vitamin D. And we know the risk is tied to latitude. So the further you are away from the equator, either above or below, we know that the risk of getting MS increases. But recent clinical data shows that UV light is very important. It modulates the immune system, and this is different than vitamin D production. When sunlight hits your skin, it sends signals to release nitric oxide into the bloodstream. What does this do? It opens up your blood vessels. It reduces blood pressure and, crucially, lowers your inflammation. Furthermore, morning sunlight and the sun at sunset, specifically this red and near infrared light, penetrates deep into your tissues and strikes your cell mitochondria. I bet you didn't know this. It stimulates ATP production, which is cellular energy. So if you're battling that concrete crushing MS fatigue, your mitochondria is in a low energy crisis. So sunlight signals safety to those cells and starts telling them to start producing energy once again. So now I'm going to talk about what other parts of nature are really good for you. So tree bathing or forest bathing, this means the same thing. The Japanese came up with this and coined the term Shinrin Yoku, which means forest bathing. And I'm not talking about a strenuous hike. I'm talking about even just going into your neighborhood, I'm lucky. I live in a neighborhood that's about 25 years old, and there's quite a few trees here, and they give off a lot of shade and a lot of foliage. Whether these are local trees or pine trees in a forest, I'm lucky I live in Colorado, so I get both. But I want you to start immersing yourself in spending time in an area with a lot of trees and foliage. And maybe that's a park. Maybe that's a space where you can go on a slow walk or a hike. If you have mobility issues, I want you to find a park, for example, find a bench, have someone drive you if you can't drive, maybe help you walk to that bench. And I want you to sit in nature for about half an hour. And then I'm going to talk about this next, but I also want you to take your shoes off. And hopefully this isn't winter, spring, summer, fall, when it's warm enough, you can take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground, and I want you to start earthing or grounding. But let me finish up why getting yourself immersed in foliage is so important. Studies have tracked what happens to human blood after it spends time in either a forest or a place with a lot of trees and foliage, that these plant compounds produce a lot of NK cells. What is an NK cell? It's a natural killer cell. And what does a natural killer cell do? It lowers inflammation. It's kind of like your body's automatic warrior. These NK cells help regulate your chaotic immune system and helps it put out the fires. And while you're walking and sitting on that bench, I don't want you to look at your phone. I want you to take in the beauty. Listen to the birds chirping. Look at the green grass around you. Check out the people that are surrounding you. You can do this for 20 minutes without looking at your phone, right? I hope so. Okay, finally, let's talk more about grounding. Why do I want you to take your shoes off and put your feet on the grass? And grounding or earthing is the act of putting either your feet or your hands or any part of your body touching the ground or grass. Now, if you're swimming in a lake or the ocean, you're touching your skin to natural waters, and you're also grounding at this time. So when your skin touches the earth, especially your feet have the largest pores on your skin. And when your feet are standing on grass, for example, you're soaking up negative ions from the earth, and it resets and recalibrates your whole entire system. Think of wildlife. The animals that touch the ground are always grounding or earthing. The fish and the animals in the oceans or the lakes, they're always grounding. They're always getting these healthy vibes from Mother Nature. So these free electrons, they seep into your body, and it's the ultimate antioxidant solution. And it's free to do. Anybody can do this. And many studies have been done where grounding or earthing helps chronic inflammation. In fact, I watched a documentary on the Tour de France. This is when those crazy long bike riders go on that, 30-day bike ride through the mountains in France. And I can't even remember how long they ride for. It's miles and miles and miles. But what these bikers do, especially if they've been into a wreck, these vans follow them, and this is their team. And at the end of the day, or if they get in a bike wreck, they plug in to grounding, earthing materials in the van. So they're laying on an earthing pad, and they get these other earthing devices that they hook onto, and it helps their body heal at an accelerated rate. And they've done studies on this. So if they take the same person who doesn't hook up to these electronic grounding devices, they don't heal as quickly. It's pretty dang amazing. And guess what I do at home? I sleep on grounding sheets every night. And as I'm talking to you right now, my feet are on a grounding pad. So I'm grounding as I'm talking to you. And you can buy grounding bracelets. So if you're at home watching TV, sitting on your couch, you can put on a grounding bracelet and get the same benefits. I'm going to show you a book that I have. It's called Earthing. And it's pretty amazing. In here, I'm not going to show them to you, but you can buy this book And it's got pictures of people that suffered from chronic pain who slept grounded for 3 to 4 nights in a row. And from infrared pictures, it shows how they looked with their inflammation before and how they looked afterwards. And a lot of them had 30 to 70% less chronic pain, less inflammation. They were able to sleep better and they felt better overall. So I want you to practice grounding as much as you can. I hope these simple practices make sense to you. Go outside, get away from your computer, leave your phone at home just for 30 minutes and enjoy being outside. Be with your children. Go for a walk with your husband or your wife. Start enjoying your time outside. Have more barbecues. Create more joy in your life. That helps inflammation as well. So I hope this message helped you today. Go outside, breathe fresh air, and I want you to be the change in your life. You can do this. You can heal yourself from MS. You just need to do the right practices. And I'm here for you. If you have any questions, you can email me at info@nourishyourway.com. But thanks for listening today.